everybody, and welcome to another video in my IELTS Learning Tips video series. And what I'm going to do today is to share with you 10 things that I feel will make you a really good English language and therefore IELTS student. Now, I've been a teacher of English language and IELTS for a long time. In fact, my very first lesson was in 1977, and I'm sure a lot of you probably weren't even born then. So I've observed students over many years. I've taught from university to kindergarten, and so I've seen lots of different ages and different levels of English language and exam preparation, obviously including a lot of IELTS. And over the years, I've observed things that make students successful when they're learning a language. And so these things I want to share with you today, because the students that did these things were the ones that really progressed and that really got to their scores much more quickly than the students that didn't do these things. So over the years of observation, there are probably more than this, but I've picked out 10 that I think will really help you to be a successful English language student, and also, of course, as a result of that, a very successful IELTS student. So I'm just going to share these with you and we'll go through them one by one. So obviously, you want to be the best, you want to get that score and move on with your life. So here are 10 things that I think, if you do them, will help you to be a terrific language and IELTS student. So the first thing is something to record your language. Now, language is all about repetition and review. If you learn a new word today and you don't record it or use it, it will not stay in your memory. So in order for it to have some traction, you need to write it down. So you can use a notebook and write it down. You can record it on your phone or on your laptop. It doesn't matter how you do it, but you really need something to record any new items. So that's new vocabulary, new grammar, new sentence structures, maybe anything new you need to be able to record. So make sure you have something. Don't be a fly-by-night and just try and do it by osmosis, because it just will not work and it will take an awful long time. And if you don't know what osmosis means, then look it up. It's in the text below. So don't rely on your memory. Memory is a fickle thing. The best way to remember language is to use it. And that means writing it or speaking it. When you write it, it is a physical thing that helps to get it in your muscle, and your brain is a muscle. And so the more you use these words, the more you will learn them and remember them and be able to bring them back in the exam. So write things down or speak them and review them. I can't say enough that you should have a good English dictionary. Now, it doesn't have to be a book, it can be on your phone, can be on your tablet, your laptop, your desktop, whatever, but you should use it. So if you learn a new word, you need also to learn how to use the word. I see quite often students who write IELTS tasks and the language is either not used appropriately because they've just checked a word in their bilingual dictionary and actually the meaning of that word is not appropriate for what they want to say. Words mean many different things, and not all words can be used as synonyms for the word that you want. The other thing is that words go out of fashion. And sometimes I see writing with some very old-fashioned archaic language. And it means that the writing is not natural. So you need to be able to know, A, is this the right synonym for the word I want in my own language? And B, can I use this word now in the 21st century? Or will somebody think I'm a crusty old Victorian? And I've seen that. So do be careful. My favorite one is the Macmillan Dictionary, which is an online dictionary, very easy to use, but you can use Oxford, Cambridge, any of them, or some of the American dictionaries too. Number 4, take any opportunity. Listen to conversations. Chat shows, wonderful. I really enjoy chat shows because they give you some very up-to-date language that you can use in your speaking. If you want something for writing, maybe something a little bit more formal, but read and watch and listen. And it's so easy. You imagine, you know, back in 1977, when I started teaching, there were no photocopiers, there were no computers. We had to do everything by hand. Nowadays, it is so easy, so there's no excuse. Do go over your work. So when you've finished your work for the day, go over it and make a note of anything that you're not sure about, anything that you didn't really do very well and you need to review. And then you can ask your teacher about it if you have a teacher, or join one of these groups, say a Facebook group or another kind of group, where you can ask these questions from somebody else. Preferably an IELTS teacher, but if not, maybe another IELTS student who might know the answer, or an English language teacher who would know the answer. So don't sit and worry and ponder. Make sure you get answers to your questions. I have an IELTS group you can join, and you're very welcome to put questions there. Or if you join my IELTS Champions Club, then as well as getting questions, you get training as well. But you should always ask and get support for any problem that you have. And good IELTS students and good English language students will do this. And it makes your journey to your IELTS result far faster, much faster, if you get support and if you make sure you understand everything. So remember, these are the things I've observed from the most successful students. Okay, number 7, why not? Why not watch TV? It's wonderful. Don't feel it's a wrong thing to do. It's good. You should be doing it. But don't do just that. Do the other things as well, because it's not a panacea. It's not the only thing that will work. But it's a way of relaxing. It's also a good way to engage with the culture. And this could be important in your speaking, if you're asked things. It could also be important in your writing, that you understand a more universal approach to things. And it is a way of immersing yourself in English. So it's an invaluable resource. You can use the English subtitles, which will help you. If you miss a word, you'll be able to see it written. Don't use subtitles in your own language. That's cheating. So use English subtitles. It will do you far more good. It's not really cheating, but it's not going to help you. And don't feel you need to understand everything. It doesn't matter. Just relax, enjoy the film, enjoy the program. If you just get a good overview, that's enough. Sometimes you don't need to understand everything. And if you watch it with friends or other IELTS students, then you have the opportunity to discuss it after you've finished. And that will give you an even greater understanding of what you've been watching. Keep a learner diary. This is a really good thing to do because it helps you to plot your progress. It also helps you to make a record of your learning, which will be interesting as you work through the process. But I find quite often students are not really so clear about their progress. So I'll give somebody a test to do, an IELTS test, and they'll say, oh, this is too easy. And I say, it's not easy. It's not different from any of the others you've done. It's just your skills are improving. And unless you track your study, you won't always see this. And that helps you to be more confident. If you can see that you're making progress, if you look back 3 weeks ago and you say, oh, wow, 3 weeks ago, I was only getting 20 out of 40 in my reading. And look now, I'm getting 27, 28 every time. You might not notice that if you hadn't written it down. And it will help you to share your experience with other classmates and teachers or other people that you're working with. So it's a really good thing to do. And remember, I said at the beginning, language is about repetition and review. And if it's written down, you can do that very easily. And finally, it's really important to enjoy what you're doing. If you don't enjoy it, you won't get as much from it and it won't be as successful. And I think quite often with IELTS students, it takes a long time because they become disheartened because they're not enjoying it. If you're doing something and it's becoming challenging and you're really not enjoying it, then close the book, put it away and come back to it later. Because there's no point in spending lots of time being miserable. You want to be happy and finding it interesting and hopefully fun. So don't let it become a chore. If it's starting to become a chore, change tack, do something else. Leave the listening and do some reading. Leave the reading and go watch a movie. So try to make it interesting. And remember, 20-minute spurts, short spurts with a break are the very best way to learn. So these are all things I've observed from successful students, people who learned well, who progressed well, and who as a result did really well in their exam and moved on with whatever they wanted the IELTS for. So if you want to be like those students, you need to do these things. And I urge you to do all of them all the time. And I think you'll find that you have a much better experience with your IELTS learning and your English learning. Okay, so thank you for watching and I'll see you on the next video.